Imagine a headline you never thought you'd see. Donald Trump, back in the White House, meets with Syria's new Islamist leader. He signs a deal with the Houthis in Yemen without consulting Israel. He opens direct talks with Iran. This isn't a random series of events. It's a glimpse into a potential future, a new Middle East completely reshaped by the long and brutal war in Gaza. It's a stunning realignment where old enemies become wary partners and old friends find themselves on opposite sides. Today, we are exploring a fascinating analysis of how the geopolitical chessboard of the Middle East could be completely upended. This isn't what has happened. This is what could happen. A story of shifting power, strange bedfellows, and the unintended consequences of war. This video explores a speculative analysis of a potential future based on a recent geopolitical essay. The events described are part of this analytical framework. To understand how dramatic this shift is, we have to remember what the Middle East looked like before October 7, 2023. The battle lines were clear. It was an alliance of the United States, Israel, and powerful Gulf states like Saudi Arabia and the UAE, all united against what they saw as the region's biggest threat, Iran and its axis of resistance. Policies like the maximum pressure, sanctions on Tehran, and the historic Abraham Accords, which normalized relations between Israel and several Arab states, were all designed to build a powerful bloc to contain Iran. Even the Biden administration continued this strategy, making an Israeli-Saudi deal the centerpiece of its Middle East policy. They thought they were on the cusp of lasting peace. As this analysis lays out, that assumption was terribly misguided. The war in Gaza, in this scenario, didn't unite the Arab-Israeli axis further. It shattered it by creating a new dominant power. In this potential timeline, a series of stunning Israeli military successes in late 2024 turned the tide. Hezbollah's leadership in Lebanon is eliminated. Hamas's leader, Yahya Sinwar, is killed. The Assad regime in Syria, a key Iranian ally, collapses. Iran itself looks vulnerable. The result? A triumphant, confident Israel, laying claim to being the region's unrivaled military power, ready to deal a decisive blow to Iran's nuclear program. And suddenly, for its Arab neighbors, the biggest threat in the region was no longer a contained Iran. It was an unleashed Israel. And this is where the story takes its most shocking turn. Facing a potential devastating war between Israel and Iran on their doorstep, the Gulf states completely changed their strategy. Their fear of being caught in the crossfire and the economic chaos it would cause suddenly became greater than their fear of Iran's influence. And in a stunning twist of irony, they found an unlikely partner in their new mission: Donald Trump. The same Donald Trump who repudiated the first Iran nuclear deal now fears being pulled into a costly war. So he too has pushed for a new nuclear deal with Tehran. And the Gulf states, who once opposed the deal, are now its biggest champions, acting as mediators, offering economic incentives, and using all their diplomatic muscle to make it happen. This has fundamentally changed the power map. The Gulf. States understand that in the rivalry between Iran and Israel, they are the prize. They no longer want to be on one side of a binary conflict. Their new goal is to become the fulcrum of a new regional order. They want strong relations with the United States, their traditional security partner. They want to resume normalization with Israel, but from a position of strength. And they need a stable, contained Iran, which a nuclear deal would provide. It's a grand balancing act. For this to work, a few things must happen. The US-Iran nuclear deal must be finalized. But crucially, for Saudi Arabia to normalize relations with Israel, there must be an end to the war in Gaza and a viable political future for the Palestinians. These three pieces, the Iran deal, Israeli normalization, and a resolution for Palestine, are the pillars of this potential new stable Middle East. So, this speculative future presents a Middle East that is almost unrecognizable from just a few years ago. It's a world governed not by old ideologies, but by pragmatic and sometimes cynical self-interest. It's a future where sworn, Enemies find common ground to prevent a greater catastrophe, and where the region's middle powers, the Gulf states, step up to become the indispensable pivot point, balancing the ambitions of both Iran and Israel. Of course, this is just one potential path. Negotiations could fail, and confrontation could easily return. But it's a powerful reminder that in geopolitics, there are no permanent friends or enemies, only permanent interests. And after years of turmoil, sometimes the most shocking realignments offer the best chance for stability. Is this kind of pragmatic, interest-driven balance a more stable future for the Middle East? Or is it just a temporary pause before the next conflict? I'd love to hear your analysis in the comments below. If you found this deep dive into a potential future insightful, please give it a like, subscribe for more geopolitical analysis, and hit that notification bell. Thanks for watching.